Hello, guys. We're on 2 Corinthians 10. I pray everyone has a good day. That's mine. I have more. I can have more.
Oh, I don't
Okay,
remember
cool.
that.
Thanks God for giving me water and I pray that that's something new with 2 Corinthians 10 and yeah, I'm gonna start now. Thanks God. 10. Now, I mean 1. Now I prompt myself and treat you by the humility and gentleness of Christ. I who in your presence are lowly among you, but became absent and bold toward you. Yes, I beg you that I may not, when present, show courage with the confidence with which I intend to be bold against some who consider us to be walking according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we don't wage war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but mighty before God to the throwing down of strongholds, throw down images and every high thing that is exalted against the knowledge of God, and bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, and being in readiness to avenge all disobedience when your obedience is made full. Um, I, I don't get it. Mom. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome, Lil. So basically, I think Paul is saying that he is coming in the form of humility and gentleness. And he wants to present himself like humbly when he's there, but like when he's absent, he's like bold for some reason. And um he wants that when he's present, to show courage with the confidence which I intend to be bold against some who consider. Well, I think he wants us to like have confidence when like when he's not there, like or when the I don't know. Yes, I beg you that I may not, when present, when he's not, that when present, he may not show courage with the confidence which I intend to be bold against some who consider to be walk. So he just needs to be presented in a certain way when there's people walking according, like when the other people think that he is walking according to the flesh, because he doesn't want to like be overturned, like let's say I'm walking according to, he is not really walking according to the flesh, but these people are assuming that he is. He has to actually show courage. um but even though he is walking in the flesh, but he's also like resisting, like he said before, he doesn't wage it according to his like human self, because he knows that like it's not the person that is the person to fight against. It's like the evil inside that person that is like dictating that person's thoughts and heart and like their actions and stuff. And what he does is like he throws down the strongholds using the weapons of warfare, which if you want to read those, it's in Ephesians 6. But it also like talks about it here in number 5, verse 5. Because what happens is the enemy likes to make you imagine stuff, and it makes you like angry, or like, you know, it just makes you think a certain way that's a lie basically. And the enemy likes it when there's like a pride, that's like every high thing exalted against the knowledge of Christ, because pride is something that exalts itself against God, like, thinking you're high and mighty, or like thinking you know better than what God says. So that's why it's kind of hard sometimes if you're rebellious towards God to actually like do what God wants, is because your pride or the spirit of pride is like within you. So that's why Paul says that you have to take this like item, this thought in your brain, and you have to bring it into captivity. Like you put it in like a little box so that it's not like taking over you, and you make it captive to that obedience of God, which is like, um, you make it obey God, the knowledge of God. So you can have like a verse of God to um fight that lie off. Like, if people reject you, you could be like, no, God formed me, he accepted me, blah blah blah. Like Psalm 139. Or like the, what is it called? 1 Peter 2:9, about being like a priesthood of Christ and being chosen. So yeah, God accepts people because he chooses them. And then you want to be ready to avenge all disobedience when your obedience is made full. So like basically when you're obeying God, which is like knowing the truth and walking in action, that disobedience um goes away because you're submitting yourself to the knowledge of God.
Okay. For me, I think he's trying to be confident to tell them about God because he is firm in his faith, and that's really good. And now, and that the wording for the World English Bible is just so like, yeah, it's crazy. But like when it's talking about like, oh yeah, we don't fight the flesh. I mean, but at the same time we do, because Satan's trying to take over full of our minds. Like, see, it says like throwing down images and every high thing that is exalted against the knowledge of God, and bringing every thought into captivity to to the obedience of Christ. Yeah. And I think that's what we all need to do is um find the thoughts that aren't of God, and replace it with Jesus, so that you can be obedient to him. Yeah, now I understand why we have like all of the armor on, so that we can be protected but also be protected by God. Okay, I think I mean that's what I would have said. So I'm gonna start that. Do you look at things only as they appear in front of your face? If anyone trusts in himself that he is Christ's, let him consider this again with himself, that even as he is Christ, so we are also Christ. For even if I boast somewhat abundantly concerning our authority, which the Lord gave for building you up, and not for casting you down, I will not be ashamed, that I may not seem as if I desire I'm to to terrify you by my letters. For his letters, they say, are weighty and strong, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech is despised. Let such a person consider this, that what we are in the word by letters, when we are absent, uh, such are we in indeed when we are present. Um Uh, I like how you shouldn't like judge a book by its cover, is what the guy said in the first seven. And we shouldn't. I think we shouldn't say that we. Or some people shouldn't say that they are in Christ, because like they might be still in their flesh and doing the things that God doesn't want them to do. So yeah, do you have anything to say, Mom?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Paul is talking about like his identity like too, because like you can't um like have identity without somebody giving it to you. that identity is Christ. He's the one that made you. But if you find like you try to find your identity in other stuff, it doesn't like work because the person that created you is the only one that can really give you your identity. And that's why he also says that um you know he is Christ, like everyone is Christ, and that um he doesn't want to appear like boastful in the authority because it's the one that God gave authority to him to do his work to build up, and not like hurt. So he's not ashamed of it because he knows that he's doing like the work that he needs to do. Um, like even if like it looks like that it's terrifying them, like what, like, because sometimes when you have authority, it scares people, but it's like not like for that purpose because it's kind of like, God's supposed to also terrify us because of his like bigness, but at the same time, he loves us. So I think leaders are supposed to kind of represent like God in that way to produce change in the church. And he also wants them to know that whatever he says, like in person or in letter, like it's the same thing. Like, it's not any different than when, like, because for some reason it's saying that his letters are witty and strong, but his bodily presence is weak and his speech is like despised. But that person, like, it's not true. Like, they're the same no matter what. That person is the same no matter what.
Um, just like when you look at your face, if it's pretty, but like on the inside, maybe it's not pretty. Uh, like I don't know what to get from this. I feel like he's just trying to write a letter to the church, and it makes sense to me, but I don't know how to explain it. I think he says it fine. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, like I don't need to. Well, for we are not bold to number or compare ourselves with some of those who condemn themselves, but they themselves measure themselves by themselves, and comparing themselves with themselves are without understanding. But we will not boast beyond proper limits, but within the boundaries with which God appointed to us, which reach even to you, for don't stretch out we don't stretch ourselves too much as though we didn't reach to you, for we came even as far as to you with the God of good news of Christ, not boasting beyond proper limits, so in other men's labor, but having hope that as your grows faith grows, we will be abundantly enlarged by you in our atmosphere of influence, so as to preach the good news, not I mean so as to preach the good news even to the parts beyond you, not to boast in what someone else has already done, but he who boasts, let him boast in the Lord. For it isn't he who commends himself who is approved, but whom the Lord commends. Um, we shouldn't boast about things in this world because, like, uh, because you can have everything in heaven, and yeah, it's not good to boast and stuff, but it's good to boast about the Lord because he's so good, and so that everyone knows him, and um yeah, just push forward and spread his word. Mom, you have anything to say?
No, I think that's pretty complete, Lil, in my opinion.
Okay, thanks, Mom. What about you? Yeah, you shouldn't compare yourself to yourself sometimes. I feel like like I don't know. Yeah, it says it in there, but yeah, measure themselves by themselves and comparing them with themselves without understanding. Yeah, without understanding, I think that you should compare yourself ha- with the devil. No, you should compare yourself how close you are to God, and that in order to be better isn't, oh yeah, I stopped doing this, I stopped doing that, but what about, oh yeah, now I'm with God, and now I'm reading his word, now I'm praising him. Yeah, it shouldn't be about like the worldly things, like, oh yeah, I have the most money, oh yeah, I eat the best food. It should be like, oh yeah, I have faith in God, and I'm righteous because of him, and I have grace because of him, and that this is why I live today. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Okay, guys, bye bye. Have a good day, and yeah, thanks. Stay blessed. Yeah.